President Biden and former President Trump clinched their party's nominations, setting up a rematch for the White House. And a rocket explodes in Japan just seconds after liftoff. The morning rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Wednesday, March 13th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. It is now official after Tuesday's primary contest. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump have clinched their party's presidential nominations, setting up a showdown between the two in November, a repeat of the 2020 election. This will be the first presidential rematch since 1956 and the first between two presidents since 1912. With still more than halfway to go in the primary calendar, Biden and Trump secured enough delegates early, with wins in Georgia, Mississippi, and Washington state in Tuesday's primaries. Following the news, Biden released a statement. 4 years ago, I ran for president because I believed we were in a battle for the soul of this nation. Because of the American people, we won that battle, and now I am honored that the broad coalition of voters representing the rich diversity of the Democratic Party across the country have put their faith in me once again to lead our party and our country in a moment when the threat Trump poses is greater than ever. Former President Trump posting a video response on social media after Tuesday's victory.
But now we have to get back to work because we have the worst president in the history of our country. His name is Joe Biden, sometimes referred to as Crooked Joe Biden, and he must be defeated. Our nation is failing. We're a nation that is in serious decline. So we're not going to take time to celebrate. We'll celebrate in 8 months when the election is over. November 5th, I believe, will go down as the most important day in the history of our country.
Both candidates will officially become their party's nominee during conventions this summer. The Republican National Convention will take place in Milwaukee in July. The Democratic Convention will be held in Chicago in August. Days before Russia's presidential elections, where it's widely expected Vladimir Putin will win another 6 years in power, the Russian president says his country is ready to use nuclear weapons if there is a threat to its statehood, sovereignty, or independence. In an interview with Russia state television released today, Putin warned the United States that if it sent troops to Ukraine, it would be seen as a significant escalation. Putin saying Russia will achieve its goals, adding that Moscow is ready for negotiations, though the U.S. says Putin is not ready for serious talks on the matter. On Tuesday, the White House announced the U.S. will provide $300 million in additional military aid to Ukraine after more funding became available due to savings in contracts with weapon makers. A TikTok bill getting a lot of limelight will be the focus of a vote today in the House. The bill gives TikTok an ultimatum to sell and cut ties with its Chinese owner ByteDance or face a ban in the U.S. TikTok would have 6 months to find new ownership outside of China. The vote will require support from 2/3 of House members to pass. And it is getting bipartisan support. A House committee unanimously cleared it in a 50-0 vote last week. House Republicans say they're confident it will pass the chamber today. And President Biden has said he would sign the bill should it pass Congress. The Uvalde, Texas police chief, Daniel Rodriguez, has announced his resignation just days after the release of a report by the city council. The report defended the police response to the 2022 mass shooting at Robb Elementary School that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. In his resignation letter, Rodriguez did not mention the school shooting. The investigation found that Uvalde police officers on the scene followed policy without serious misconduct. Nearly 400 law enforcement officers, including Uvalde police, were at the scene, but waited over an hour after the shooting started before confronting the gunman. The city's report did agree with a Department of Justice report that highlighted poor communication among officers and inadequate training. 5 officers at the scene, including 2 Department of Public Safety officers and the former school police chief, have been dismissed. However, none have faced criminal charges. A rocket launched by Japanese startup Space One exploded just seconds after liftoff. Video shows the rocket taking off in a mountainous region of central Japan. Then around 5 seconds later, flames and smoke filled the sky. Firefighters had to extinguish nearby fires that were sparked from burning debris. A Space One official says the rocket appeared to have self-destructed after detecting some sort of malfunction. No injuries were reported. Space One had hoped to become the first private business to put a satellite in orbit. Finally this morning, the 2024 Iditarod sled dog race has ended with some history amid some controversy. Dallas CV won his record 6th Iditarod, which covers 1,000 miles in Alaska, completing the race in 9 days, 2 hours, and 16 minutes. But this time around, CV had to overcome a 2-hour penalty after his team became entangled with a moose along the trail. One of his dogs was injured in the encounter. CV shot and killed the moose, but was penalized for not properly gutting the animal per race rules. CV first won the Iditarod back in 2012 at the age of 25, becoming the youngest winner ever. These are your top stories for this Wednesday. Unbiased, straight facts, that's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.